afternoon and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The Court of Appeal has adjourned indefinitely the judgment on the appeal filed by Senate President Bukola Saraki against his arraignment at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Saraki is asking the appeal court to nullify the proceedings of the tribunal and to also set aside the criminal charges filed against him by the federal government on account of being illegal and unlawful. The appellant counsel Kehinde Ledger, who spoke to journalists, said the court will nullify counsels to the parties in the suit when the judgment is ready.
The information we had is that the judgment is not ready and that the court will advise all counsel involved when the judgment is ready.
Now, Lagos State Governor Kumi Ambode has sworn in the newly appointed commissioners and special advisors with a charge on them to work around the clock and ensure that the state fulfills its potentials. Now, speaking at the well-attended ceremony held at the Adeyemi Bureau Auditorium at Lausa's Secretariat, Governor Ambode reminded the new appointees that their primary allegiance is to the people of the state, irrespective of creed and color, urging them to dedicate themselves to the service of the state. The governor said the state is currently experiencing rapid urbanization and thus requires hard-thinking solutions to develop befitting infrastructure to cater for the increase in population. According to him, Lagos has all the ingredients to compete globally in all sectors, saying that he expects his new team to join hands with him to move the state forward. Now, 5 persons were injured in multiple accidents in Okako Southwest local government area of Ondo State. 2 vehicles were damaged. The accident, which occurred on the Owo-Abuja road, was said to have been caused by overspeeding. The first happened at the accident-prone Okealabojuto. The other was at Okemaria near Okakoko. It was gathered that the truck rammed into a car coming from Abuja and the driver reportedly fled. An eyewitness, Taiba Yaya, disclosed that the accident caused gridlock on the busy road, which links the south to the north. The victims were rushed to the Federal Medical Center in Owo. The unit's commander of the Federal Safety Corps in Ikare, Jimo Basiru, added that overspeeding was responsible for the accident. The FRSA boss said the truck had been impounded. He further warned drivers against overspeeding. A Nigerian soldier shot dead a suspected suicide bomb outside a military base in the northeastern Sunday, detonating explosives concealed in her handbag. The target was thought to be the Mamalari Army Barracks, the main military base in Maiduguri, which has been hit repeatedly in recent months by Boko Haram Islamists. There were no other casualties in the explosion, which one military officer in the city described as an attempted suicide attack by Boko Haram terrorists. Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari at the weekend declared that President Muhammadu Buhari cannot be blamed for the present damages the country has found itself. According to him, what Nigeria is going through is partly a reflection of the global economy, which adversely affected international prices of oil. Despite the drop in prices of oil, he said that President Buhari has done well in managing the Nigerian economy in the past 5 months. The governor, who spoke with journalists in Abuja, said that only Nigerians were aggrieved because of the ministerial nomination and other appointments could be unhappy with the president. The management of the University of Teaching Hospital in Calabar has commended the federal government over its prompt intervention in the hospital Ebola's care. In a statement made available to journalists in Calabar, the Chief Medical Director of UCTH, Thomas Organ, said the attention given to the hospital during the period is a demonstration of importance President Buhari's administration pays to public health. He said the public enlightenment on the issue by relevant agencies of government helped the international community that Nigeria is Ebola-free. Now, following the request by the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project for information on the spending of recovered assets stolen by late General Sani Abacha, the World Bank has said it needed additional time to provide SERAP with a more comprehensive response. In a letter dated 15th of October 2015 and signed by Ann May of the Access to Information team, the bank said additional time is needed in order to provide comprehensive response. SERAP Executive Director Adetokunbo Mumuni welcomes the bank's decision to thoroughly consider the request. And the Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party says the letter written by Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State, urging the Senate President Bukola Saraki to disregard the Rivers State government's white paper on the report of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry for the investigation of his administration on the sale of valued assets and other related matters, which indicted him lacks merit and logic. The state chairman of the PDP, Felix Obwa, made this assertion while reacting to the letter by Amechi to the Senate President Saraki. According to Obwa, in a letter signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Jerry Needham, Amechi's letter to the Senate President is an attempt to ignore the white paper report, undermine the crusade against corruption, and expose President Buhari's fight against corruption as partisan and targeted at only members of the opposition and perceived enemies. The PDP said the monumental fraud discovered by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry and huge revenue lost when Amechi was governor of the state cannot be ignored. Now, the nomination of Ms. Aisha Abubakar for ministerial appointment from Secretary of State may fail or face some difficulties scaling the screening on Tuesday in the Senate following her rejection by the state chapter of the ruling All Progressives Congress. The party in the state also vowed to officially write President Muhammadu Buhari, rejecting her nomination and be replaced by a more competent representation, not minding the gender. Senator Abdullah Ibrahim Goba, representing Sokoto East in the Senate, at last Thursday submitted a petition against Abubakar's nomination. Goba, in the petition, rejected Ms. Abubakar's nomination mainly on grounds of incompetence, along with all the reasons contained in the petition presented to Senate President Bukola Saraki. The decision to reject Abubakar was taken during the stakeholders meeting of the party presided over by Governor Aminu Tambuwal. The faction of the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra has called on the federal government to immediately release the Radio Biafra director Nnamdi Kanu, who was arrested by the Department of State Services in Lagos State. In a statement issued in Abakaliki, the National Director of Information, MASOB, Comrade Uche Namadu, threatened that any refusal by the federal government to ensure the release of Kanu would lead to worldwide protests. MASOB calls on Nigeria government to quickly release Nnamdi Kanu or arraign him in a competent court of justice. This is still CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break now. We'll be back on more stories. Please stay with it.
Every day, every hour, every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria,
where you are the judge.
Thank you for joining us again. Now, for more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter, CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV, space, then news. As the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, celebrates 1 year in office, this was joined with the commissioning and inspection of various projects in the state. In this special story, CoreTV News' Rashid takes a look at the performance of the Ayodele Fayose-led government and its assessment by the people of the state.
When you measure satisfaction, when you measure performance, when you measure contribution, you measure them within available resources. Within available resources, we have done more than enough.
With a year under his belt as governor of Ekiti State once again, Ayodele Fayose was at his best in rating his work so far. While the yardstick may differ, the people also have their say on the matter, with Aduniola Ika Center as a case point.
Since my coming now, that women's center is at no cost to Ekiti State government.
Can you explain that to us?
It has no cost to Ekiti State government. It's born out of my effort to develop this state when we don't have money. Reaching out.
The building that is standing right in front of the government house. And I know clearly for sure that that building was meant to be in Exu. It's one of the projects that was meant to be in Exu, which is TED Fund project. It's now here in Ado.
While the governor says most of the allocation of Ekiti goes to payment of salaries, the bailouts for the state is a major sticking point.
That workers' salary is number one. The bulk of the money that comes to these states in the last 1 year has been used to pay workers' salaries. When they talk about bailout, I've said the responsibility for the debt. But these bailouts were not money owed by my administration.
It's being paid in 1 or 2 as if they are now invoking divide and rule in respect of the bailout. So there was a time the secondary school teachers, about last week, they were paid. The primary school teachers were not paid. Concerning the core civil service, the way the pay bailout is being paid is not encouraging. That's not the intention of the federal government.
The airport project is also seen as a major issue, especially the controversies surrounding it.
We have done the enumeration and we're working together and they will be paid accordingly. There's no problem with that. I mean, this is an ongoing project that will benefit not only the local people, but obviously everybody in the state.
This is what the constitution of my social. Come and say we should go to farm, we should work. The system of giving somebody 1 farm in a year and one rubber for your rice. And you consider that for the damage this property. It's a 4-1 system.
While the governor beats his chest, former Governor Shegoni says it's all fallacies.
I have a 4-year term. And it's an ongoing process. Some that are not finished is ongoing. It's still within the administration. But like I said to you, we will leave no projects uncompleted. We will finish and make it accessible, serviceable for the use of our people within shortest possible time.
We are in a house of deceit. We have been taken in into a one-chance vehicle. He may turn around as a result of this and what other people are saying. He may start work tomorrow. This first year is a non-starter.
With the 2018 election still 3 years away, the perception of the people will surely determine what happens at the polls. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Now, Israel Shori village in Oguta, local government area of Imo State, has been taken over by flood. The incident, which started gradually 3 days ago, has degenerated into a huge problem, causing both loss of lives and property. CoreTV News Imo State's correspondent Ejibari Awofeso visited the Agbasin in Fowles on this report.
It was about an hour drive from the city of Owerri to the affected areas. Gaining access to the people was another struggle. The entire roads were flooded. Most of the people affected by the flood were farmers who have decided to live close to their farms. Cross-section of the victims reacts to the huge loss they have encountered.
We see the flood. She come carry all of our cassava, yam, our house. Many people still there for come out.
My people now, they live inside water. And the place there and living now, water don't go around. But the only help now where God give us now that say the water don't quench. You know they live again. Now boat and like we go there. We need help.
Businesses affected as operators of fuel stations within the axis shut down completely. The people traumatized and dejected have resorted to medium and mini canoes for transportation. They are indeed subjected to lots of hardship. Deputy Chief of Staff to Governor Rochas Okorocha, who was there, confirmed this.
Because from what we are seeing, the whole of this environment is a threat to humanity. It's a threat to the people because you have a lot of reptiles, snake. You can see you can see for yourself that some of the other food, seafood, have been thrown away by the water.
So far, 4 people have been confirmed dead.
I got information that in the last 4 days ago, I think in the last 4 days ago or 5 days ago, that some lives were lost. About 2 or 3, 4 lives were lost in the last 4 days ago, and we sympathize with the families of the deceased. The government of Imo State will come to see them in due course.
While disbursing the little relief materials and food items available to the victims, the rancor experience shows clearly that it was not enough. Proactive measure is, however, required of the government to provide adequate help for these internally displaced persons. Ajibabe Awofeso, CoreTV News, Ogota.
Now in Kano State, where the police have arrested 72 suspected cattle rustlers in the notorious Falgare Forest in Tudunwada local government area of Kano State. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Mohammed Kassina, disclosed this while presenting the suspects and the animals to newsmen at Kwana Dawaki in Dawakin Kudu local government area of the state on Sunday. The suspects were presented in the presence of the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi II, and Governor Abdullahi Ganduje. Kassina said the police had also recovered 818 cattle, in addition to large arms, fake military and police uniforms, as well as charms used by the suspects. According to him, the police also killed 3 of the suspects, including one Umaru Dogondaye, a Senegalese national who led a gang of bandits that maimed, raped and ransacked the entire Gidam Kare village in Somalia local government area of the state. Now, fish marketing is one of the few economic activities with potentials for great income generation in Taraba State. In spite of this fact, fish traders in the state are complaining of difficult access to the market due to poor road network. Rudra Godwin, who visited the area, examines some of the issues.
It is well endowed with abundant surface water, including ponds and rivers. Descriptive statistics show that it has about 500 hectares of water body and 142 natural ponds. It's therefore not surprising that fishing is an important local resource base of the rural communities in the state. And in this community, Mayenero Inadokola local government, which is popularly known as the land of fish, there are traders from within and outside the state who troop in on a weekly basis to buy different species of fish. The income would have been a good story if not for the poor state of the road, which the sea has a major challenge.
Basket where we've been there buy 5,000, now 11,000, 12,000. Before you go buy, I'm so can't do expensive for road. Secondly, road no good. So before you go do expensive, carry and reach our place, then a problem. You don't go gain anything. That is the business go just be like saying a random movement.
Since 3 weeks ago, we've been unable to pass through this road. Had to gain access to the road here. It's been very difficult. The drivers, you can see if you are coming to this road now, you see some vehicle that fell into a deep hole there. Some drivers just want to come inside here and convey the goods out there after buying. They say there is no road, no access here. And the sellers here are getting difficult to sell their goods, their fishes. You can see there's enough fish here, but there's no buyers as a result of bad road.
We are facing some challenges sometimes. If you buy fish of 10,000, you cannot sell it 10,000. Either you lose or you sell it the way you buy it because of money.
Here, all the time when we come out, our motor they get problem. The road is condemned because they get when you load, when you just go outside and then you must repair your motor. The road is too bad. The government, please, may they help us repair this road again, please.
Actually, the road is too bad. the entering of this very place is very, very bad. We need to be prepared.
Issa Sarikiwuwa is the king of the river. He is seeking government assistance for the survival of the major livelihood of the villagers.
Year in, year out, this is the only business we do for survival. Therefore, we are asking the government to come and give us assistance.
It is also having an adverse effect on revenue generation in the area.
The problem here we have now, the revenue is not forthcoming because of one thing or the other, that is politics. Somebody that he's supposed to pay, let's say 5,000, they only give you 500.
But in spite of this, the fishermen are not relenting. Our camera lens captured some of the fishermen who live by the riverbank constructing their boats for their fishing. This is River Benue in Mayenero. This river links more than 4 local governments in Taraba State, and most of the fishing is being done in this river. Now, the traders pass through this river to the popular market for their buying and their selling. Udwa Godwin, CoreTV News, Adokola.
We'll take another quick break. I'll be back with stories from the world of business and outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, because people are watching you. You know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man. We don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
A new World Bank report has put Africa's poverty rate at 43% compared to a previous figure of 56%. The World Bank Vice President, African Region, Mark Diop, disclosed this during a video conference on End Poverty Day over the weekend, adding that poverty has been going down in Africa significantly. He said the report represented the most recent poverty data available and seeks to highlight the need to know the determinants of poverty in Africa. He, however, said much of the progress in poverty reduction came from the non-income dimension of poverty, which witnessed improvements in literacy and child mortality rates, as well as increase in life expectancy in the continent. The Vice President further noted that the new figures are still a far cry compared to what is obtainable in other developing world. He said poverty eradication should not be limited to the Millennium Development Goals or Sustainable Development Goals, but seen as foremost demand from the people of Africa. He further expressed concern over the low quality of surveys conducted by countries, some often incomparable, and cited a particular case of Nigeria as an example. The Director General Debt Management Office, Abraham Wanko, has disclosed that Nigeria's external debt profile has risen to $11 billion as of last week, as against the $9.4 billion recorded in March. Similarly, domestic debt profile has also risen to 11 trillion naira. Wanko disclosed this in an interview with journalists in Kaduna on Friday, shortly after declaring open a one-day enlightenment workshop with leaders of student unions from tertiary institutions. Owanko, however, says the quantum of the debt did not really matter, adding the most important thing is how the resources were deployed to encourage economic growth, development, generate employment and reduce poverty. He noted that the current global economic problems, particularly the collapse of oil prices, are having a significant impact on economies all over the world. Owanko commended the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria for maintaining a healthy reserve and for stabilizing the exchange rate in spite of the shock occasioned by the drastic drop in oil revenue. He added that Nigerians should be proud that they have a government, a CBN, and an economic system that is sound in spite of the shock we have. He noted that other countries like Venezuela and Russia that had been in a similar position had had their currencies devalued very rapidly in the first 30 days of the oil shock. The Nigeria Customs Services vowed to strengthen its partnership with the Standards Organization of Nigeria to help combat the preponderance of fake and substandard goods in the country. The Controller General NCS, Hamid Ali, disclosed this during a court's visit to SON, adding that his visit is to strengthen the synergy already existing between the two agencies, pointing out that SON is one of the key government apparatus to drive economic growth and development. According to him, the expertise to determine if a good is wholesome for consumption is rested with SON, maintaining that the customs will strengthen its support to SON to ensure that what comes into the country meet the minimum requirements of the Nigerian industrial standards. Earlier in his welcome address, the Director General SON, Joseph Odumodo, explained that within 6 months, Nigerians will see a drastic reduction in the level of substandard products in the country, courtesy of the Nigeria Integrated Customs Information System the agency launched recently. He also commended the President Muhammadu Buhari for the appointment of the new Controller General, pointing out his appointment is so far the most important made, saying that the new general will play a critical role in terms of trade. Now outside Nigeria, Syrian activist says at least 70,000 Syrians have fled a government offensive on rebel-held areas south of the city of Aleppo in the past 3 days. Zaidan al-Zalbi, head of the Union of Syrian Medical Relief Organizations, disclosed that several villages he had visited were empty. The government offensive is the latest of at least 4 launched Russian air supports in the past 2 weeks. Aside from the Aleppo countryside, they are taking place in mostly rural areas north of the cities of Homs and Hama, and in the rugged northern part of Latakia province along the coast. Now, thousands of migrants have been stranded at borders in the Balkans in cold and wet conditions as their path to Western Europe is blocked. Several hundred, including young children and babies, spent the night in the open at Croatia's border with Slovenia. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, also complained of a lack of basic supplies at the Serbia-Croatia border. The Western Balkan route has been disrupted by government restrictions. Hundreds of thousands of migrants, many from Syria, Africa and Afghanistan, have been making their way from Turkey to the Balkans in recent months in a bid to reach Germany, Sweden and other EU states. Now, the Maldives top court has overturned a sentence of death by stoning issued to a woman found guilty of adultery. The woman, who reportedly gave birth out of wedlock, was convicted by a magistrate court on Sunday. The island nation has previously issued flogging sentences to those convicted of extramarital sex. Reports added that the sentence to death by stoning was unprecedented in the country, which is known as a luxury tourist destination. Extramarital sex is illegal in the Maldives, although the ban does not apply to tourists. Now, Israeli police say an Eritrean man has died after he was shot and beaten by a mob when he was mistaken for an attacker during a raid in southern Israel. The attack happened on Sunday night at a bus station in the city of Beersheba, where about 10 other people were injured. The Palestinian attacker was killed while a security guard shot the Eritrean bystander, identified as Haftan Zahom, 29-year-old, thinking he was an accomplice of the assailant. Israeli police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld confirmed Zahom was misidentified. Rosenfeld said the Palestinian attacker stabbed a soldier and stole his MH rifle. opening fire in the crowd at the bus terminal. The soldier died in the hospital. The attacker was named by police as Muhammad Alukabi, 21, and a resident of Hura in the Negev. Another word of sport. The Leeds City chairman Massimo Salino has confirmed Steve Evans will replace sacked head coach Owe Rosler. The Italian disclosed the former Rotherham boss Evans, who took training at the Championship club's Thorpe Arch training ground on Monday, will sign a rolling contract. Rosler, 46, was sacked on Monday after just 12 games in charge. Evans, 52, will be Leeds' sixth head coach since Salino took over the club in April 2014. Now, Leicester City informs striker Jamie Vardy says his goal-scoring exploits will be meaningless if the Foxes are failing to pick up points. The team were 2 goals down to Southampton on Saturday, but the England international badged a brace in the final 25 minutes to ensure the Premier League encounter ended in a 2-2 draw. Vardy had taken over the league by storm this season and leads the goal-scoring chart to 9 goals from as many games as possible. And the City have benefited from the emergence of the 28-year forward as they sit 5th in the table on 16 points despite failing to keep a clean sheet all season. The Stars' Andre Ayew is expected to overcome the knee problem that ruled him out of Ghana's friendly last week, and John Joe Shelvin is also set to play after a knee problem, and Norton returns after missing the draw with Spurs for the birth of his daughter. Stock will be without name Diop is on compassionate leave following the death of his mother. Mark Wilson returns after 2 games out with a cough problem, but Shea Given is very doubtful with a knee injury. Now, Marco Platini still wants to succeed Sepp Blatter's FIFA president despite 790-day ban while corruption claims are investigated. UEFA boss Platini suspended his FIFA studies report. He received a $1.35 million payment from Blatter in 2011. The 60-year-old told French newspaper Le Monde he had done nothing wrong and certainly still wants to stand in the FIFA presidential election in February. In June, Blatter announced he will leave his position at the head of world football, though he's also serving a 90-day ban, but also denies any wrongdoing. Platini, who has been president of European Football UEFA since 2007, was tipped to replace the 79-year-old Swiss and still believes he will have enough support to do so. Now, Aston Villa manager Tim Sherwood has slammed his team's boring style of play and urged them to express themselves more on the pitch. Villa have failed to win since beating promoted Bournemouth in April weekend and a second from Bolton in the Premier League following a run of 7 defeats in 8 matches. No team has lost more league games than Sherwood's men, and the pressure is mounting on the former Tottenham Hotspur boss. Prior to Saturday's 2-0 loss to struggling Chelsea, there were reports that Sherwood's job was under threat after the club's American owner, Randy Lerner, had met Villa officials in the United States. Sherwood also believes his team have struggled to express themselves due to their fear of losing. Well, that's it, a wrap on CoreTV News at 4 minutes. Thanks for watching. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Good afternoon.